explain me perhaps something about the inside energy of Krishna?
Inside?
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's the magnal energy, the outside energy, and the inside energy. Perhaps you can something speak about that.
Actually, in order to speak about that, one has to be under the protection of the internal energy. So that may be a matter of degree, how much one is under protection, or how much of the time one is under protection. Mahatmas tumam dhartam daivim prakriti ashrita. You know, what is this daivim prakriti?
Three laws.
No. Daivim prakriti, daivim means transcendental. Divya. Just like Divya Gyan, Relay Prakrasita, that and Sri Guru Charana Padman is Divya Gyan. Divya Gyan means transcendental knowledge. So similarly, Daivim is coming from the same root. So it is transcendental Prakriti. So that if someone will be under the protection of that transcendental Prakriti, then he may be able to effectively speak in such a way that it will actually impress the heart, or plant the let's say the seed of desire for the service of that Daivim Prakriti, because that Daivim Prakriti is only approachable through the medium of service. It can only be understood by the practical engagement in devotional service. Because ultimately, Srila Prabhupada describes that Daivim Prakriti refers to the Mool Prakriti. You know what Mool means? There's one type of radish here in India, and the Hindi name is Mooli. Mooli means root. It's a white radish. Sometimes you see it in the market along the root. So Mool in Sanskrit means root. So the root of all prakritis, that root is the let's say the supreme energy. Prakriti means energy, or the enjoyed energy of Krishna. There's Prakriti and Purush. So Krishna is the supreme Purush, Param Purush, or Purushottama. This month is Purushottam Mas, you know. So in Purushottam Mas, we have as our worshipable deity, especially here in Vrindavan, we have as our worshipable deity as the Purushottama, JagannathKrishna, along with his let's say, his Daivim Prakriti or the Mool Prakriti, who is none other than Rajeshwari, Srimati Radharani herself. So Radharani is that Daivim Prakriti. Mahatmanas tumam partam Daivim Prakriti ashrita. To take shelter of this Daivim Prakriti. So we can understand that the shelter of that Daivim Prakriti will be realized in terms of the endeavor to assist that Daivim Prakriti in the affairs of transcendental loving service to the Param Purush. So if one will, let's say, sympathize with the not sympathize exactly in the sense that some definition may have it as take pity. Sympathize meaning to vibrate similarly, just like on some Indian instruments, like there's one instrument called Dilruba, another instrument the sitar, or the sarod. These different instruments, they have what are called sympathetic strings. You understand?
Yeah.
So the sympathetic strings, when you play the main playing string on any pitch, that sympathetic string will similarly vibrate as a slave to the main playing string.
But different octaves, no?
No, well, it can be, but generally, they tune the sympathetic strings to the same pitch as whatever note will be played on the scale.
You mean that Krishna and Radharani is like this, no?
No,
Harmonized.
no. I mean to say that this is we're discussing the principle of the jiva's shelter in the service of that Daivim Prakriti. In order to realize that shelter, one has to sympathize with the shelter itself, or let's say similarly vibrate. Another meaning of the word sympathize is just like if I'm a political sympathizer, if I sympathize with a particular cause, political cause, you know, just like if someone is communist, and if there's the Communist Party and another man, he will sympathize with the Communist Party, you know, or he'll sympathize with the Capitalist Party according to his particular mentality. He will sympathize. Sympathize meaning that he will agree.
Yeah, but what's that?
You know.
When he sympathizes with that?
So we're No, this is just an example. If we will agree, you know, to act as a slave to Srimati Radharani and her girlfriends, who are all absorbed in the perfect manifestation of devotion to Krishna, then we can get the shelter of the Daivim Prakriti, or what we originally annotated as the Antaranga Shakti. Antaranga Shakti means the internal Shakti, or the internal. There's the Bahiranga Shakti, that is this externally manifest world. everyone has experience of that in this material world. The effects of this Bahiranga Shakti is that it causes the forgetfulness of the eternal relationship with Radha and Krishna. But in the spiritual world, and wherever that Daivim Prakriti will manifest her influences, that forgetfulness will be dissipated, and the remembrance of one's eternal relationship with Krishna will be enhanced. So, effectively speaking, as souls lost in this material world, we are hankering for that position, that safety under the shelter of the Daivim Prakriti, or under the shelter of Srimati Radharani, from whom that influence of the Antaranga Shakti will be manifest. If we want the happiness or the satisfaction of our heart, then we have to take the position of a sympathizer with Srimati Radharani's party, to sympathize with her cause of serving Krishna as the pleasure-giving potency. That Prakriti means the enjoyed, Purush means the enjoyer. So in the material world, the living entities, we have come to this material world to attempt to imitate the Purusha, to behave as the Purusha. Someone's at the door, I don't know who this is. It will be as good as the Antaranga Shakti. So, but Krishna in the myriad of forms, Krishna is coming in so many ways as Guru. So his Guru, Krishna, will be coming in the form he will be appearing to the external eyes of the disciple. He will be appearing as the form of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, or Jagadish Maharaj, or Danadhar Swami, or Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, or like that. He will be appearing like that. But in actuality, the truth is that all of these living entities are servants of Guru. You understand? We have to see clearly what is the position of the Guru, because the Guru will be acting as the servant of the Chaitya Guru to manifest the intelligence of the Chaitya Guru before the consciousness of the disciple, so that the disciple can make a proper decision on how to behave himself. So therefore, if the Chaitya Guru, will be manifest, if if a devotee will be actually serving the Chaitya Guru, if he will be actually surrendered and allowing the Chaitya Guru to do his work, see, then the disciple should see the necessity of taking shelter of that person. So because that person is acting as a mouthpiece to the Guru Tattva. Therefore, the disciple can have the Guru Ashraya at the feet of that person, of that devotee, of Guru. So, Gopal Krishna Maharaj should be seen as the servant of Guru, the devotee of Guru. And therefore, he's as good as Guru. So, if he will be taking the responsibility for giving the necessary direction to his disciples, in an emergency case at least, he may have his other, in other words, the Guru principle may be manifesting everywhere. The Guru principle may be even manifesting in the dog. In 11th canto of Bhagavatam, there's description of 24 different gurus. You see, so they're manifest in various ways, and it is all Krishna manifesting to give lessons. So if we will be acting also on behalf of Krishna as representative of Guru, then we will be also taking up that responsibility of giving guidance. But where we will fail, the Guru proper, his Diksha Guru or his Shiksha Guru, his main Guru, as Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he will have to be responsible. It is not that we are fully responsible. We are only responsible as agents of that person who has agreed to accept the responsibility of taking this man back home, back to Godhead. But where we will fail, he will have to take up the responsibility. So if we're having difficulty, then we have to refer the case to his Guru. You understand?
Yes.
So therefore, my advice is, if we are incapable, if we are powerless, he may also be powerless, because ultimately the living entity has his own free will. Even Krishna himself can't save a living entity who doesn't want to be saved. If the living entity is so stubborn, he can remain within the material world for eternity. And Krishna himself, of course, Krishna can, he can't and he can, because he's unlimited. He can make a rock that is so big that he can't lift it, and then he can lift it. Prabhupada has said, So it's nothing that Krishna can completely obliterate the existence of the jiva. So the jiva ceases to exist. Krishna can do, but he doesn't. Prabhupada has said like this. But at the same time, different guru or different manifestations or representatives of guru will be having different degrees of potency, for acting as guru. So according to the degree of empowerment, according to the degree that Guru, Krishna Guru has, or Balaram Guru will be investing, or himself, because actually the Kripa Shakti is none different from himself. This is Antaranga Shakti, is none different from himself. So that if Krishna will be appearing through his Kripa Shakti in the form of that Guru, he will be able to act wonderfully, that Guru, to the extent that Krishna will manifest himself according to the degree of surrender and according of that devotee who will be acting as Guru, and according to the degree of the own sweet will of Krishna. See, so someone may be acting as Guru, but he may or may not be so powerful, to completely convince anyone and everyone. There were some devotees who were capable of slapping the face of a tiger and causing the tiger to chant the holy names of Krishna. Perhaps like Abhiram Thakur and maybe even Vamsi Bhajanananda. I think short name they call him is Vamsidas. He was slapping tigers and others. There were other also devotees similar to that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, going through Jharkhand, he was acting as guru, in the sense that, of course, he was Krishna himself, but he was behaving as a devotee of Krishna and causing everyone to chant Hare Krishna, so he was able to cause the jungle animals to dance and chant and give up their animosity, enviousness, etc. So some devotees may be able to do, even take a snake, and make a devotee. Narada Muni was making a devotee, making a snake as a devotee. You know the story? And the village boys, when they heard that he'd become non-violent, they started throwing the stones at the snake. But the snake, under the order of Narada, was compelled to restrain himself from his violent activities. See? So he became perplexed and disturbed. So the snake approached Narada and asked Narada about this situation, what to do. And Narada told him that he should simply raise his hood, which will scare all these boys, and show his power, but he should not bite anyone, but simply by raising his hood. So even Narada, such a powerful devotee and representative of Guru, he was able to even transform the heart of a snake. But Prabhupada says that a snake may be charmed, but a human being who's envious, who's lacking in humility, who's not having, the actual devotional mentality or the devotional qualities, and who is, let's say, having vicious or violent mentality. There are many ways of violence. You understand, it's not just that by killing the body. Prabhupada has discussed this in Bhagavad Gita. It's not just by killing the body, but it's also by doing things which will impede one's own advancement. This is called atmaha. And one's own advancement, or doing things which will impede the advancement of others on the path back to Godhead. This is also called violence. So persons who are not considerate, who have no discriminatory power, in the matter of understanding what to do and what not to do, they cannot but be violent upon themselves and upon other living entities. And very likely it will be very difficult, especially depending on the degree of their absorption in their own false ego, it will be very difficult to tame them. Even more difficult, Prabhupada says, than to tame a snake. So it may not be so easy, for I don't want to say that this man is worse than a snake, because he has many good devotional qualities, and it would be certainly improper for me, especially during Purushottam Mas, to offer such a criticism. But he is not very well behaved, obviously, and this was also Krishna acting through him. This is another point. Krishna is acting through him to show us how powerless we are in the matter of actually managing to impress Krishna consciousness upon the heart of another living entity. If we were actually very powerful, he would be surrendered. Of course, he has his free will. He doesn't have to see an owl. What you can do if the owl's eyes are closed and he can't see the sun. you know. But at the same time, that Oma Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya, that he's forcing open the eyes with the torch of knowledge. So if someone is very powerful, then we should be able to bring out the best in any man. So we should understand that it's our feeling that we're not surrendered sufficiently, you know, to the seva of the Antaranga Shakti, to the seva of Radha and Krishna, to the seva of our own Guru, that we have not been invested with the necessary power or potency, you know, by which we can actually do kripa in a realistic way, which effectually means to change the heart of the individual involved, you know. So we've not done our seva to the feet of Guru. We've not done our seva to the feet of Krishna. It is our fault. We should feel like that. It's not his fault. He is Krishna's acting directly, coming through the agency of this man to show us how we are failing in our Krishna consciousness, to bring us to a higher level of realization of our own necessity to more deeply, you know, penetrate the philosophy of Krishna consciousness for the purpose of getting a higher degree of realization and surrender. So we have to consider that if we've failed, then his Guru should take up the task. So it's not just a matter of sending him to Surat, or sending him here or there, because his Guru will not see there either. If his Guru will not be seeing his behaviors, you know, that's why it's necessary for the Guru, someone who is acting as Guru, unless he's a very powerful Guru can see the heart of every living entity, you know, or every living entity who will be focusing his conscious. If he's super soul realized, if he's not super soul realized, he cannot be so powerful. So he will not be able to see. Therefore, he's dependent on the recommendation of the others. Just like if there's a need for initiation and a person is aspiring to be as a follower of a particular devotee, then that devotee will request that he will be given the recommendation from those who are seeing his daily activities, because that devotee is not seeing his daily activities necessarily, you see. So if that person will not come to understand what kind of disciple I've accepted, if that devotee who is acting as Guru will not come to understand what kind of disciple I've accepted, I should be more careful what kind of disciple I accept. Not that I'm just accumulating disciples for name and fame or for getting numbers, you know, you understand? But I should be very, very careful not to accept an unqualified man as my disciple. Of course, sometimes accidents are there even on the royal road, you understand? That our intentions are good. We want to do well for everyone, you know, so therefore we may try to accept anyone and everyone, you know, but at the same time, if we've accepted as our disciple and we've taken the responsibility for his spiritual life, then at least in the time of an emergency, when a man has gone bonkers, you know, you understand, that the Guru should directly see face to face, what is this nonsense? So that he could, just like the doctor, you know, he may have his nurses or his assistants, you know, doing the various, you know, giving the injections or whatever, but when the disease becomes out of hand, you know, then the doctor personally has to come and attend to the patient, because it's a serious matter. You understand? So in the same way, it's not that this Prabhu should be just allowed to go on, you know, here and there with the same madness, but he should be directed to the feet of his Guru, so his Guru can directly take the responsibility. If his Guru doesn't have the let's say, the time or the energy to put into the cultivation of his own disciples' Krishna consciousness, or the patience to deal with his disciples' madness. You know, he may let's say ban him from his association, so to speak. You know, as a lesson to the disciple, if the disciple will have the intelligence to understand that lesson. You know, but otherwise, the guru should at least take the opportunity to endeavor or try to rectify his disciple directly, you know, and even keep him, you know, closely in his association, you know, so that the disease condition, you know, may be seen more carefully, you know, and dealt with, you know, from the standpoint of the superior authority. You know, his guru is his superior authority. Of course, his guru is acting, you know, in relationship to the GBC and all other instruments in this society as a social body, you know. But his guru and the Guru Parampara will be acting as his superior authorities. We are simply the agents, and where the agents fail, the guru should take up the task. It's as simple as that. So therefore, my advice is that we've seen this problem again and again and again. But if he has not severed that relationship, and he's still going on thinking himself or showing himself to be the guru of this man, then he has the higher responsibility to take care of him, not us. You see?
At the same time, everything doesn't depend on guru. The disciple also should be qualified to understand what his duties and
yes, that's right. I'm saying, but if anyone will be able to impress upon him that understanding, where his other disciples and his other god brothers will fail, it is his duty and his responsibility to make at least a final effort to impress upon his own disciple that understanding. The disciple is not expected, the diseased man is not expected to automatically have that understanding. He has to get that understanding from somewhere. And he will get it only from somewhere where he can surrender. So if he will surrender to the guru, then there's a chance that he will be able to be rectified, because as you pointed out, he is not surrendering anywhere else. So he's making himself out to be a disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Therefore, he should be feeling a sense of duty to surrender at the feet of that person to whom he's claiming to be a disciple, his disciple. So if I'm the disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, but I cannot surrender to you, I can't surrender to you, and I can't surrender to this GBC or that GBC, but at least I should be surrendered to that person who is my guru. So therefore, whatever my guru will say, that will be the final analysis, the final word. You see? Yeah.
But on the other hand, Srila Prabhupada exists not anymore now in this world.
No, he's not existing on the physical plane, but he's there.
Yes. And you cannot now surrender to him. You must ask other devotees, isn't it? Also, when, for example,
there's also a direct relationship.
When I have a guru and my guru leaves this world, then I must take shelter to other great devotees, isn't it?
It's not, but no, it's not absolute.
I mean,
but
then must
ultimately, a devotee should take shelter of guru wherever he is manifest, because we're discussing the principle of Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva ultimately means that the energy of Krishna, which is representing the will of Krishna. So wherever the will of Krishna will be manifest, that will be seen as Guru by an intelligent person who is interested to surrender to Guru. But unfortunately, the conditioned soul is not interested to surrender to Guru even. But when the figure, let's say when the emblem, let's say, of Guru will be impressed upon his consciousness that here comes the form, of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You understand? Just like if he's coming in a dream to me, sometimes he appears in dreams and very mystically manifesting in the dream, and it is the form of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So that form will be saying something to me, which will be giving very deep impression upon my consciousness, that it may not be giving that same deep impression if the super soul did not arrange that my mental quantum would manifest that form which I accept as the authority in my life. You see. So super soul can speak to me through the agency of that particular form which I accept as the emblem of the Guru authority. See. So but ultimately we should be able to recognize Krishna and Guru Tattva wherever it is manifest. And it is always manifest. It is never not manifest. It is manifest as we've described even in the barking of a dog or the biting of a mosquito. It will always be manifest.
Said this only before you, because you said before that a guru should, when the devotee, his disciple has a disease, he should go to the guru, and the guru should look to his devotee. But in some cases, it's not possible for the guru. For example, when he leaves this world.
Yeah, but he's not left this world. He's still on the planet.
Yeah.
So therefore, he still has that the physiological relationship and the responsibility. So if the facility is there for the disciple to go to the feet of the guru directly, and in such need, it may be required that he should be sent to his guru or whatever, just to wake up the disciple to his responsibility to surrender to all the manifestations of guru, because he's not accepting that responsibility to surrender where the guru's representatives will be manifest.
So on the other hand,
that is the disciple's defect, but all I'm saying is that the last word should be with the guru emblem in the disciple's life. If he will not be able to recognize guru everywhere, at least he should recognize the guru in the guru emblem directly, in the form of the particular devotee, the physiological form that will be impressed as oh, my guru has come, because the form of Gopal Krishna Maharaj will be coming into the purview of his consciousness. So he has to recognize that my guru is here standing before me, and it's my duty to surrender, to submit, and give up my nonsense. So if the guru will be giving instructions, that you must surrender to others like that, as my representatives, then this is just to train the disciple to recognize guru everywhere. Ultimately.
So it's not the fault of the guru.
It's not the fault of the guru. I'm not saying.
Don't look to the devotee when he has a disease.
That depends on. It may not be the fault of the guru, or it may be the fault of the guru. I mean,
maybe.
if the guru is negligent, or the person who is acting as guru will be negligent in the matter of maintaining his disciples, then certainly it's the fault of that devotee who's trying to act as guru.
Yeah, sure.
You see. But if it will be on the part of the disciple, then how you can blame the guru? Just like Prabhupada had so many thousands of disciples, and 90% or more than 90% have practically left the direct sevas of Srila Prabhupada and engaged themselves in varieties of nonsense within the material world. In other words, again, chewing the chewed. So you cannot say that it's Prabhupada's fault because he was not able to impress upon them Krishna consciousness. the onus of responsibility ultimately is on the individual soul. Krishna is always there. Guru is always there. Guru is within the heart, as Chetu Guru. But it's the soul who's refusing to surrender. But the Guru does have the responsibility, if he has accepted the position as being that figurehead, in the disciple's life, to do his level best to uplift or upgrade the guna, the condition of the disciple.
That was a good word what you said. That remember me on a question that what I want to ask you. Individual soul, you said. In the Bhagavad Gita is written that we are not the doers, no? And you said before that we work to our own desires, no? So we are independent, no? It's also says in the Vedic scriptures, no? So what's actually now? We are independent, or we are not the doers? Because when we are not the doers, it means also that we are completely related to Krishna, and all what we do is up to Krishna actually. But
we have independence.
But in the same time, we are independent.
We have independence. We're dependently independent. And
so
when we become intelligent in our devotional consciousness, then we become independently dependent. Can you understand that point? We become independently dependent. We're dependent on Krishna. But in the material world, we want to exercise our independence in such a way as to remain independent of Krishna. But still we have to be dependent on Krishna for that independence. But when we become intelligent, then we're dependent on Krishna for our independence to be dependent on Krishna. Our independence to choose to be dependent on Krishna. Or dependent on Krishna's devotees. So what to do about him? Because we're up here speaking very nice philosophy, but the fact of the matter is the madness is raging on. And I've only done my at least considering the circumstances of including my own lack of qualification, I've done my best to at least engage him, in 6 hours of service daily, and trying to impress upon him to at least go on time to do his service. He's got a very easy time, and his daytime service, so that he can take rest properly and get up for the Mangalartik, etc. So he's doing from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Those are his times.
At least you can pay your obeisances and take some water on your head. Okay, and then we will continue. March, carry us, we go. There's no plan on this program. So somehow or other, we've wound up at the ISKCON Center in Radhakund. It's kind of I'm not sure how it exactly works, but this was an old palace of a king, or one of those. The kings used to build, instead of having their condominiums at the MBT, they would build like a palace at Radhakund. There's many rooms here. They're empty. You could stay here. Yeah, are you serious? So, I know some of the people here.
Sarveshwar.
What?
Sarveshwar.
Sripad Maharaj. So, Hare Krishna. You're in charge here? How long have you been staying here?
Almost 15 minutes.
Huh?
15 minutes.
Where are you from? You're from Manipur. Mentioned Manipur is Narottam Das Thakur's preaching. I think it's also related to Arjuna, right? Arjuna went there. One of Arjuna's queens was from Manipur. Narottam Das Thakur preached there. So it's very much, people there grow up as Vaishnavas. So it's very much connected with Vrindavan. A lot of those people you see that look Oriental, they're Manipuris. So this is, you can see, look at the view from the roof also, the view that you have of Radhakund. It's very nice. We haven't yet discussed the significance of Radhakund, but we will. Hare Krishna. Leave moving closer so that there's room for people to walk around. Donovan, why don't you explain about this place?
Well, I don't know that much, but
Whatever you know, probably know as much as me.
this is the bathing ghat of Jahnava Devi, who is the eternal consort of Lord Nityananda. And after Lord Nityananda Prabhu left this world, Jahnava Devi was considered to be the most prominent Vaishnavi throughout India. And many great saints, including the Goswamis, would go to her for advice, guidance, shelter. And in honor of her exalted position, they built her a personal bathing ghat, because the men and ladies, they bathe separately. So if you go down, I think it's around here, around there, there's actually like a little stairway, and it goes right into Radhakund. And I wish she could bathe in the privacy without the men being there. So she's to come.
Unfortunately, sometimes there's like noise. No, I don't say this is not noise pollution, but I kind of thought this would be a nice place to explain a little bit about Radhakund. And in the Upadeshamrita, it gives a comparative degrees of places. Of course, in last place is the material world. Any place in the material world. Just like in the field, you're walking and someone says, oh, there's dry stool, there's wet stool. Stool is stool. Doesn't matter if you make a comparative difference. So in the material world, Broadway, Herald Square, Jackson Heights, Baltimore, whatever. Beyond that is Vaikuntha. Beyond Vaikuntha is Goloka, Vrindavan. Vrindavan has 12 forests. The Vrindavan forest is actually the highest. And in the Vrindavan forest, the best place is Govardhan. And in Govardhan, the highest place is Radha Kund. Radha Kund Shaimakund. It's the highest because the highest thing is love of Godhead. And of all types of love of Godhead, the love of the gopis for Krishna is the best. It's the most pure. It's all pure, but somehow it's the most pure. It's the most intense. And here at Radha Kund, it's such a place that sometimes in other places in Govardhan, the love is a little bit checked by the sense that the parents may come or the friends may come. But here, no one but Krishna and is it Radharani and her intimate friends are here. This is her place. And of course there's different types of cowherd boys. The most intimate of Krishna's friends, who knows the name? Saurav, you know what they're called? Priyanarma Sakis. They're like Subal, who also is so it's a very, very confidential place where this full potency of Krishna's Shakti is manifest. So this is eternal, but still it has a history here. It's considered, Radha Kund is considered Radharani's Prem Sarup. It's the form of her own love for Krishna. There's even one story where, just like when we went to the Goshala, that very nice Vaishnava, Nandanandana, you didn't meet him, but you met his 4 daughters. So one of his daughters' names is Manini. Manini means one who possesses anger. So you may say, how is that a compliment, that one possesses anger? But that type of anger, called man, is an intensified stage of prema or love of Godhead. That is not even there in Krishna's parents. It's only there in the gopis. So Radharani one time, out of love, became angry with Krishna. Because what had happened is, Krishna was just bathing, and when Radharani came to Krishna, Radharani saw her own form in Krishna's chest. So Radharani said she thought that some other lady had made her way into Krishna's heart. So she became angry. So Krishna was begging her, I did not do it, I did not do it, I did not do it. She wouldn't look at him, she wouldn't talk to him. So Krishna was becoming very distressed. And he went to the gopis, he said, how to relieve her mind. This is one of the pastimes in Braja, relieving Radharani's anger. In fact, on Sunday, if we get the bus, we will go to Barsana. And in Barsana, there's one place called Man Kutir. See, Barsana is Radharani's place. Nandagram, they were for Krishna. In fact, on Holi, they have a festival where the ladies of Barsana attack the men of Nandagram. In fact, I was once doing a kirtan with a lot of sannyasis. These ladies came by, old ladies, you know, wow. In fact, it gets so wild. Lagama City is very experienced in this. She went there on the hike. Was it nice? Humbling. They call out the National Guard sometimes. It gets so intense. They're called holy wars. But there's a place there where Radharani was so that Krishna had to come, bow down to Radharani, And when the tears from Krishna's eyes washed Radharani's feet, then her anger was subsided. So that place in Varsana, because there for Radharani, it's very much worship. We will go there tomorrow. So here Radharani was very angry. They said, what to do? Well, just go tell Radharani that you didn't do it. That you did it and you're sorry. But I didn't do it. Tell her anyway. She said, Radharani, I'm very sorry. Everyone makes mistakes. Please forgive me. Her anger was not satisfied. So Krishna was just in such a distressful condition. Finally the gopis said, you worship Radha Kund. And then by worshipping Radha Kund, then Radharani was satisfied. Krishna gets just as much pleasure from Radha Kund as he does from Radharani. From the smell of Radha Kund, from the sight of Radha Kund. So this actually gives Krishna as much pleasure. By the grace of Krishna, it's still quite manifest. Sometimes in Braj, there may used to be a whole forest and there's one small tree. But generally, three things are still very much manifest. The Jamuna, although the Jamuna also is becoming unmanifest. Sometimes out of separation, these places become the dust of Vrindavan, Govardhan Hill. So this is kind of manifest, but even if it's manifest, it's not manifest exactly as it was. Because on the order of Purnamasi Vrindadevi, when Radha Kund was manifest in this world, planted so many groves of trees, mosaic tiles for the steps. You have to understand, clear water, so many swans, buzzing bees, yada tava sarovaram sarasabringa sangolasa. And in the middle there was a pavilion, very beautiful pavilion was in the middle for Radharani's younger sister. So this will be a quiz. You must know, when I was in Dallas at the Gurukul, Prabhupada said that now we're joining Krishna's family. So we're actually spiritually in Krishna's family. We should know Radharani's brother. Who is Radharani's younger sister? Yes, Mahavegati. Ananga Manjari. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is his spiritual form is a maidservant of Ananga Manjari. So all these things are here so beautifully. But it became uncovered. Actually, even before it was manifest, this is where Krishna killed the Aristasura demon. He was a huge, huge bull demon. But when Krishna killed the bull demon, then Radharani said, just like any of you ladies, would you go out with a man who had just killed a cow or a bull? No. So Radharani said, I don't want to go with you. I don't want to go with you. A black man who has killed a bull. This is So, and Radharani said, unless you bathe in all the holy rivers, I will not forgive you. So Krishna called the personification of all the holy rivers. Sometime in your life, maybe some of you will travel to other places in India, but once you get the taste of Braja, it's hard to go to other places, I find. But Godavari, so many rivers, the Ganga, and they manifest here, and Krishna dug a hole there on Shamakund. Then he told Radharani, actually you are the one that's sinful, because it was not a bull, it was a demon dressed as a bull. and therefore I am falsely accused. So now you have to. And Radharani said, okay. So Krishna said, let the rivers come from my kund. No, I'll do myself. So from here, where there was the hoof of this, the hoof print of this Aristasura, Radharani and her friends made a line to Manasi Ganga and took off their bangles and started to dig a canal. But then finally the personified rivers merged and begged Radharani. In fact, there was such a beautiful play that the Gurukul boys used to do. The Western boys used to do in English. They used to do these Hindi dramas. The Western boys used to do in Hindi. They did this pastime of Radha Kund. It was so beautiful. And then all the personified rivers begged Radharani, and then at 12 o'clock at a particular night, it broke through the middle there and it filled up this Kund. And then Krishna said that from now on, your Kund will be more dear to me than my own Kund, and will be more glorious and more famous. And therefore you never hear anybody say Shama Kund. I'm going to Shama Kund. Everyone is going to Radha Kund. So it's such a potent, holy place. And all the great acharyas in our line, they came here to do bhajan, means to deeply worship Krishna. A lot of them used to stay in that area over there because it's between Shama Kund and Radha Kund. So you'll see the Samadhi of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Krishna Das Kaviraj, Raghunath Das Goswami. So many wonderful places there. And they used to chant on the bank. Actually, when Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting on the bank of Radha Kund, he was the Prayojana Acharya. He was our teacher to explain love of Godhead. And his mood of separation was so intense. First he was in Jagannath Puri. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, then everything in Puri to him looked like a serpent that was about to bite him. When he saw the river where Lord Chaitanya would bathe, it was like terror for him. So he couldn't stay there. And then Swarup Damodar left. Then he came here. And his mood of separation was such that first he gave up eating just a few drops of buttermilk. Practically he gave that up. He was just here on the bank of Radha Kund, chanting the holy name, practically just living on Krishna's name, in the mood of intense separation. I used to remember these prayers. I don't think I could remember them now, where he would pray like that. So also, all our acharyas were here. And what does it say in Upadeshamrita? If one simply comes here and bathes once, he can awaken his love for Krishna in the mood of the gopis. Of course,
resident devotee here in Vrindavan temple, and he told me, Maharaj, I'm residing in Vrindavan, I must see Varshana Holi. And that was, nice feelings. So I also came back after the Mayapur meetings to Vrindavan to see Varshana Holi.
These are his shoes. He has a Western toilet here, which is quite amazing. So this is the seed of Krishna consciousness was planted here. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada that there was fire in the house. There was fire in the house, meaning in their preaching they built this big marble temple. They built this big marble temple, and then the sannyasis started fighting for rooms. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, there's fire in the house, there's fire in the house. Better if we sold the marble and printed books. If you ever get money, print books. So you can see, and again, we were talking about that. So we chant the samsara prayers, and we will get the dust of Bhaktisiddhanta. I'm sure some grains of dust are still stuck to his shoes. Okay? So John, have you chanted that melody? Okay. Do you have kartals? So in the original, well, this is prakat. Prakat means manifest. Unmanifest is also happening, we just don't see it. And in that unmanifest, there's Radha Kund in the center with the mosaic tiles and the beautiful swans and all the different kunds and kunjas, the flower houses of all the different sakis, astika sakis. So we can also pray to Lalita. But we're going to go now quickly around. We'll also pass the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat and discovered Radha Kund. This is Jiva Goswami's sitting place in here. All the 6 Goswamis had their places, all the great acharyas in our line. Continue. That Radha Kund is non-different than Radharani. And our bodies are just like stool. So that we have no right to bathe in Radha Kund. But because the previous acharyas have ordered that it can be done, you may consider it. This is the way I look at it, that it's a small group, and I feel that the people can do it in a mood of reverence and humility. Then they themselves can, if they feel that their guru would give them permission in that circumstance, then I will not prevent. So you have to use your own conscience. But what we'll do now is we'll meet by the Bhajan Kutir of Raghunath Das Goswami at 1:45, not later. Okay? So the ladies can go on the other side there. Okay? The ladies can go on the other side there. I think it's in Shamakund. He made a little wall around it. Then it disappeared again after 4,000 years. And then Lord Chaitanya came here and he was inquiring. This was a Rihagram. This was the place where Krishna court. And there were 2 paddy fields and some, it was just like we went yesterday, And Lord Chaitanya, when he bathed in it, he realized. And then later, I think, Raghunath Das Goswami, some merchant gave him some money, and then they re-established it like this, and wonderful place. On the appearance day of Radha Kund, if you want to go to a transcendental party, the place is packed with all Brijvasis, right? There's little boats floating in the middle with people on it, and balloons, and that too I also realized too at midnight. I went with your Guru Maharaj one time at midnight. He told you? No. And at midnight, everyone bathes. So it's like everyone bathes, and their ecstasy. It's just like, it's better than a ball dropping from Times Square and a few people getting drunk. It's like the real thing. It's like from the heart. So it's kind of nice how we're coming today. Because generally I only come here and I stay for like an hour. But hopefully, of course, the way it's going, we may not even get around because there's so many places to see. Did you know that when we came in, Lord Nityananda was sitting here, he was doing his chanting at Radhakund, when he understood that Lord Chaitanya was on the planet. He was living in Radhakund, Lord Nityananda. And then from here, he got that inspiration. So Baitak is here, where he was sitting down is here. It was so nice. And then the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Kutir. We have to go there. What's that called?
Swanada Sukada Kunj.
What?
Swanada Sukada Kunj.
Swanada?
Swanada Sunanda.
Swanada Sunanda Kunj. That's where Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sarup. You see, in Radha Kund, the way it was actually situated, there were beautiful kunjas. Kunjas means like flower houses. And then, it was all jeweled and all things. So each of Krishna's gopis, there's pictures of Radha Kund. First the Astika Sakhis have their places, and then all their assistants. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's place, and there's songs that he writes about it. So he had his cottage there, and Bhakti Siddhanta stayed there also. And that's also where Prabhupada got the instruction. If you ever get money, print books. Just see how Prabhupada's desire for book distribution is connected with Radha Kund. He got the instruction here. If you ever get money, print books. And the interesting thing is also, the person who is probably one of the best book distributors of all time, Harinamananda. You heard of Harinamananda? If you look on the charts, he's like number one every year. They're so dedicated to book distribution. Before he joined Krishna consciousness, he was living. Did you know that?
Yeah.
He was living with the Babajis in Radhakund. Harinamananda. He was living. His Bhakta program was Dandavat Parikram around Radhakund. So you can see, although he's such a special soul and he got some real internal inspiration, that internal inspiration was, became manifest in an intense desire to spread Krishna consciousness. So there's a very, very close connection with the intense desire to spread Krishna consciousness and the internal mood of Krishna's intimate associates. Would you like to say something about that?
More perfect than that.
Ram Roy is very much into
That type of thinking.
You got to get some of his realizations when he's out there. So
There's some nice prayers here to Janava as Nanga Manjari.
how many?
Short.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Am I sunning you out now? The sun's too heavy? I thought we'd warm you up a little bit, but you wanna? I'm really not one for sitting so long, so we're gonna have I'm gonna chant these prayers, and then
The prayers are on the next page.
Wow, there's so much of that, huh? Well, okay, a few of them. Okay, now when you say these prayers, well, where are the ones? Which one should I read? Ananga Manjari is the younger sister, Srimati Radharani. She resides in the house of Cupid and is the giver of devotion. Just as Srimati Radharani is the potency, Shakti, of Lord Sri Krishna, similarly, Ananga Manjari is the potency of Lord Balaram, who acts as the original spiritual master. One who becomes a follower of Ananga Manjari will understand all the Vedas and attain love for Radha and Krishna. If you want the mercy of Kishore, Kishori, Radha and Krishna, then with your mind, body, and words and determination, worship the lotus feet of Ananga Manjari. This type of worship is only possible by the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Ma Janava is Lord Nityananda's dearmost. One transcendental body has become two, Lord Nityananda and Janava Devi, to give mercy to the fallen conditioned souls. She who was Ananga Manjari in Krishna Lila has now become Janava Devi. She looks very beautiful with her face glowing like the full moon, and her lotus eyes sparkling attractively. Ma Janava, the mother of the entire universe, was always absorbed in ecstatic bliss. Out of compassion for the conditioned souls, she wandered in the material world along with Sri Nityananda Prabhu. My dear Ma Janava, I am a most insignificant and foolish conditioned soul. Please bless me so that my mind will always remain at your lotus feet. I cannot forget your unlimited glories even for a moment. How can I describe them? Please show me your compassion. Please remove my distress and fill my desire for your service. Since you are full of all divine qualities, I offer this prayer to your lotus feet. Wherever I may take birth, please grant me the benediction that even in my dreams I will never forget you. I want my mind to be continuously absorbed at your lotus feet. Please be merciful to me. Taking a straw in my mouth, I loudly proclaim, please give me this benediction. Sri Ananga Manjari ki jai. Thakurani Sri Janava Devi ki jai. Okay, Janava, we'll chant all the prayers. We'll do them two at a time. So you can chant the first two. There's 8, right?
There's lots of prayers here, but there's the Radha and Dasha.
Okay, so chant 2, and then another place we'll chant 2, and then we'll go to the next place. Yes. Go ahead.
Shabadanu Janasha Narmada Moti Rangayar Nikilani Jasha Kibir Yatsvahastena Punam Prakatita Maprivindaranya Ragya Pramodais Sadati Suravi Radha Kundame Vashrayome. Appearing after the divine couple's joking quarrel about Krishna's violating the principles of piety by killing a bull, the demon Aristasura, Radha Kund was joyfully excavated by the beautiful hands of Srimati Radharani, the queen of Vrindavan, and her own girlfriends. Let this beautiful and enchanting Radha Kund be my only shelter. Rajababi Mudha Shatra Preya Shanim Nikamar Ashulabam Apiturnam Prema Kalpadrumam Tam Janayati Hrida Pumasnatoruchai Priyam Yat Tadati Suravi Radha Kundame Vashrayome. The seed of the desire tree of Prema is sown in the heart of anyone who bathes here. Although Krishna's dear girlfriends in Vrajabhumi rarely attain it, let this beautiful and enchanting Radha Kund be my only shelter.
So let's circambulate Janava Devi. Then we're going to go to Raghunath Das Goswami's Samadhi. Mahabhagavati, get your flute ready. We're going to join their 24-hour kirtan for 10-15 minutes. Very sacred place. I'm seeing that just to go to Radhakund we could go for like 3-4 days. I don't like to move so quickly. So many of the places are so nice. And I'd also like to leave some room at the end, which never happens, where I can say, here's like an hour. You know, just go where you want. Just sit where you want. Just chant and pray. It'll never happen. All our time is going to be, because I can see we've just got to the very beginning, and we want to go today also to where Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's a nice little temple and you sit inside. It's so beautiful, and they'll show us the original manuscript. And where else we want to go? Then we definitely want to go to Swanada Sukunda Kunj.
Sukada.
Sukada?
Swanada Sukada.
What?
Swanada Sukada Kunj.
What's Sukada?
Sukada.
Sukada Kunj. That place is surcharged. Actually, it's surcharged. Bhakti Siddhanta's rooms. And then we'll go see Lord Jagannath. All the 7 major temples of Vrindavan are established here. We'll go to where Mahaprabhu sat. And then at the end, we'll see what our consciousness is. And see if we have the consciousness to dip in Radhakund. I don't know. You have to be very pure. Because Radhakund is non-different than Radharani.